live stream. Pretty much at the very beginning of January was when I first started. But anyway, I've been super busy, been buried under snow and ice, and actually I just got back from helping take a calf out of a frozen pond, so that was kind of sucky. Anyway, today we're going to I'm going to look at the Beatles albums, and I'm just going to give you my opinions of them, give you my ratings of them. Spoiler alert, there's going to be a lot of high ratings because the Beatles are the greatest band of all time. I mean, people can have their favorites, and that's fine, but objectively, the Beatles are the greatest band of all time. I mean, if it wasn't for them, there would be no rock and roll after them. They influenced everything that came after it. And same thing as usual. If you're going to subscribe, I'd love to have you, but if you're going to unsubscribe, don't waste my time. Nothing pisses me off more than when people unsubscribe. So if you're not going to stay subscribed, don't waste my time. But if you're going to subscribe, welcome aboard. All right, basically I'm not going to do them in any particular order. I'm just going to take them one at a time randomly, and we're going to see basically I'm going to give you what I think is the best songs on it, what I think is the worst song on it, and give you an overall rating. Maybe give you a little something about how it's uh, what they were going through, when they made the album. All right, let's get started here. This is hard to do. Oh, and by the way, got my Abbey Road shirt for the occasion. Love Abbey Road, definitely the greatest last album of all time. Like the album that, there's no better album to end on than that one. All right. Speaking of which, Abbey Road, yay. Abbey Road, for me, it is the Beatles. Actually, objectively, it's not the second best, but it's my second favorite Beatles album. So, spoiler alert, we're gonna get an A+ for this one. I love Abbey Road. And let's just go through song by song, shall we? Come Together, freaking awesome. Awesome. Hey, Ramazin, how you doing, bud? Welcome aboard. Come Together, obviously awesome, bluesy rock and roll. The lyrics make absolutely no sense, but who cares? Oh, and by the way, Ringo's drumming on Abbey Road is one of the best drummer albums of all time. Don't let anybody tell you that Ringo could not drum. Ringo was a fantastic drummer. Just because he did things a little more simple than someone like, hey, Pinoa Yoska official, how you doing? Hey, fried chicken eater. But just because Ringo was more on the simple side does not mean he wasn't a great drummer. Ringo's drumming has never been better than in this one. Okay, Come Together, obviously a classic. Next is I Speak Spanish. Well, I hope you can understand me, buddy. Something. I don't love that song as much as everybody else does, but it is a great song. This is the album where George Harrison really came into his own and became a truly almost to the quality of John and Paul. Maxwell Silverhammer, that's a cheesy song about a serial killer, believe it or not, even though it's really dopey. But it's a Paul McCartney song. It's one of his granny shit songs that John Lennon hated. But it's a pretty good song. It's not a classic, but it's an excellent song. Oh, Darling, however, that's another Paul. Paul does most of the songs. By this time, John was kind of checked out. But Oh, Darling is awesome because Paul screams like a metal scream in here almost. That's a classic song. Octopus's Garden. And by the way, we're not doing the anthologies because then we'll be here all night. But I do have those also. Octopus's Garden, that's Ringo's last song, and it's pretty sweet actually. I like it. I Want You, She's So Heavy. That is almost like metal, actually. That's like That's John Lennon basically talking about how horny Yoko makes him, which makes me sick. But the song itself is awesome. It starts out bluesy, and then it turns into like a drone, and then it gets basically metal towards the end. My favorite song is "Here Comes the Sun" by George. One of the most beautiful songs ever written. I love that song, even though it kind of makes me a little sad. Even though it's actually about feeling good after going through a bad time. It has a melancholy feel to it, so it's kind of sad sounding, but I do love it because that's one of their last psychedelic type songs. It's pretty good actually. I don't love it as much as the Beatles do. The Like three of the Beatles think it's the best song on this album, and I just don't agree with that, but it is a really good song. You Never Give Me Your Money, that's a classic. And then we got the melody. Basically, the Beatles put a whole crap load of short songs and they put them together, and it's almost they flow together, so it's almost like one really long song instead of a bunch of little small songs. But we got Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Way at the end, in Her Majesty. If you consider it one song, I would consider it the greatest song ever written. I don't consider it one song though. So I consider it a bunch of short songs that happen to flow together. But anyway, this is the best album to end on. No one ended better than the Beatles. So I give it an A plus. I'm sure you probably figured that out already. All right, moving on, and this is completely random, by the way. If anyone has anything they want to say, go for it. And spoiler alert, gonna be a lot of high ratings here. Rubber Soul. This one is a classic. So honestly, most of the Beatles albums are classics, to be perfectly honest. Drive My Car is a good song. Norwegian Wood, that's a good song. That one's about John Lennon having an affair, but because he was a cheat and a bastard. But anyway, it's a really beautiful song. It has features George Harrison's sitar, which is a Indian instrument. You Won't See Me, that one's gruesomely underrated. Nowhere Man is my second favorite Beatles song of all time. That song's basically about being confused, not knowing your place in the world. And the song itself is just beautiful, man. I mean, one of the prettiest melodies you'll ever hear. John Lennon was a really awful person, but he was a great singer. Think for Yourself, that's George. That's a pretty good song. That's a pretty sweet song. The Word, that's a hippie-ish kind of song. Michelle, that's a decent. Uh, you know what? We're going to be here all day, so I'm not going to go through every song. But I'm Looking Through You is a gruesomely underrated song by Paul. That one's a beautiful song about about a failing relationship. And who hasn't gone through that, right? In My Life, if I ever get married, which will probably never happen, this would be my wedding song. I mean, that's just a beautiful song. Just a great song to be married to, really. Wait, that's a great song that no one talks about. If I Needed Someone, that's a classic by George. And Run for Your Life, everyone hates that song because it's a little, it's John Lennon basically saying, if you cheat, I'll kill you. But I like it. I know it's not one of their better songs, but I do like it. There's not a bad song in the bunch, really. The worst is probably Ringo's What Goes On, but even it's not bad. The Beatles have very few truly bad songs. Oh yeah, I give it an A plus, by the way. The Magical Mystery Tour. This was when they were high all the time. I mean, this was the psychedelic era, and they were just basically on acid at all times. I mean, and this is their trippiest album by far. See, look, they're dressed like animals and stuff on the cover. Pretty sweet. Okay, my favorite song on this one is Strawberry Fields Forever. Actually, I think it's the best song ever written. Seriously. I mean, that song is still ahead of its time, even in 2025. I mean, that song is just freaking fantastic. The drums are great. It like changes time signatures like 50 times. It's so trippy, man. I just love that song. It's my favorite song of all time, by the way. Yeah. Flying, that's one of the very few Beatles instrumentals, but it's still a great one. Food you wish had no calories. I don't know, some poll showed up. I wish pizza had no calories and I'd eat it every day. If that's, anyway. Anyone got anything to say? Just tell me right here. All right. I Am the Walrus. That one's really freaking trippy. The lyrics make no sense, but it's an awesome song. Hello Goodbye. That's a pretty song. Baby You're a Rich Man. That song is gruesomely underrated, guys. Because you look greasy, bud. Yeah, I need to shave. It's cold outside. But Baby You're a Rich Man, one of my favorite Beatles songs that no one else likes but me apparently. But John Lennon like sings in two, like he sings to, he's like he's talking to himself. Part of it is he's talking in a hipster voice, and the other one he's talking like a stoned hippie singing really high. So it's an awesome song. Have you ever been in a relationship? Yes, I have. Not very many of them because I'm kind of shy, and but yes, I have been in a relationship, and a few of them. Not very many, but a few. And last one frickin' did me in, man. I tell you. She left me for another guy, and she got married, and now they're having a kid. So that fucking sucks. Oh yeah, A+ for Magical Mystery Tour. The White Album, my God, one of the greatest double albums of all time, no doubt about it. I love this album. Did she take the dog? No, she didn't. She was a horse person. Okay. God, I'm going to be here all day if I go through all these. Uh, anyway, I'm just going to say this is an awesome album, guys. It's the best. It was one of the first double albums. It's certainly one of the best double albums. That does have like Revolution 9. That is a terrible freaking song. I mean, that is the worst Beatles song ever. There's like 3 or 4 Beatles songs that suck, which is a pretty good ratio, really. But that one, it's nothing but noise. My favorite song on here is actually Ringo's song, believe it or not. It's called Good Night. It's a beautiful orchestral, almost lullaby sounding type song, and I love it. Everybody's got something to hide except me and my monkey. That song's pretty sweet. Uh, Blackbird's a beautiful song. Julia is a gorgeous song about John Lennon's mother. Uh, Mother Nature's song. Helter Skelter was actually the first metal song. You probably don't know that, but Helter Skelter was the first heavy metal song. Yeah, the Beatles created metal, believe it or not. Sexy Sadie, that's one I've always loved. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Oh, shit. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Anyway, this is an awesome album. I love it. A+. Gonna see a lot of A+'s, guys. A Hard Day's Night. This is the first Beatles album that's truly classic. I mean, they were a really excellent band before then, but they weren't a great band yet. And this is the band where they established their greatness. And the movie is also pretty funny. If you ever saw it, it's pretty cool. But my favorite song on here is I'll Be Back, actually, the last song. It wasn't a hit single, but I tend to like songs that aren't the hit singles better. I don't know about you. But no one does a kind of low key, sad ballad like John Lennon. John Lennon, I think, was the greatest singer who ever lived, as far as I'm concerned. Uh, I'm happy just to dance with you. That was George's first truly great song. It's awesome. Anyway, A plus for me. Uh, okay. Shit. Okay, we got Help. Like, help. No one's watching this live stream. Please, someone help me. I love this album. A lot of people consider it one of their worst, but I do not understand that. I love this album. This is the album where John Lennon first started really getting into Bob Dylan. So there's one song in particular, You Gotta Hide Your Love Away. And it definitely sounds like a Bob Dylan song. Like John Lennon trying to sound like Bob Dylan. Dizzy Miss Lizzie, that's one of their last cover songs, and it's a really awesome rocker. Obviously, Yesterday, it's a beautiful song about life sucking and missing what you used to have, you know? I understand that perfectly because my childhood was great and my teenage years sucked and my adult years suck even worse. Okay, You're Gonna Lose That Girl. That song's awesome. It kind of sounds like those Motown songs where they have the high pitched kind of background vocals. Ticket to Ride, that one's pretty sweet. I Need You, that's a great song. Anyway, I give it an A plus. I love this album. So far, I've gave nothing but A pluses. There is some that aren't, by the way. And speaking of which, here's one that's not an A plus. The Beatles' very first album, Please Please Me. And they did this album in one day. The last song is Twist and Shout, and that one, basically John Lennon, his voice was running out. He was sick. He had a cold. So he basically just ripped his vocal cords out, trying to get every last vocal that he could get out of that last song. My favorite song is one that is apparently a lot of critics hate. Ask me why, but to me, it's beautiful, guys. I don't understand why people don't like that song. To me, it's gorgeous. If you're in love, that's a great song to listen to. The one thing I don't like about the early Beatles albums is I don't really like that they're all lovey-dovey and stuff. That's not really my style, but yeah. Please Please Me, the title track is gorgeous. I Saw Her Standing There, that's a song by Paul that everybody loves a lot. There is one song here I don't like. It's called A Taste of Honey. I used to make fun of it. I used to say, a taste of pussy. Anyway, it's not a very good song. But the rest of the songs are pretty sweet. P.S. I Love You, that's a song that's underrated. I give it an A, not an A+. Consider it a 9 out of 10. Okay. With the Beatles, that is their second album. And most people can... I like Please Please Me better, but objectively, this one's probably better just because it doesn't have any bad songs. And Please Please Me had A Taste of Honey, which that's not a very good song. This one doesn't have any bad songs, but the highs aren't as high as Please Please Me. But I do like it. I don't... My least favorite Beatles era is the early era, when they were doing, like, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and they were a little too lovey-dovey for my taste, you know, and... But anyway, the Beatles never made a bad album, so don't expect to hear any bad albums here. It Won't Be Long is a classic, but my favorite is Not a Second Time. I guess you pretty much found a pattern. I'm a John Lennon fan. I hate the man as a person. He was just an asshole. But as far as being a genius, he was the greatest musical genius who ever lived since, like, Beethoven. I mean that literally. I give it an A, which means basically a 9 out of 10. Not classic, but close, you know? Beatles for Sale. This is one where you can tell by the cover, they're really sad on this. Basically, they were just really tired of touring, and they were basically wore out, and the fame was kind of getting to them after a while. So they're a little. This one is really down. A lot of the songs are about losing love instead of getting love. But it's got songs like "No Reply," "I'm a Loser," "Babies in Black." I don't want to spoil the party. That's a great song to listen to if you just broke up with someone, for sure. Add a Q&A sticker. Okay. Planner. Answers will appear as. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What is your favorite Beatles album? All right. Answers will appear as. All right. What is your favorite Beatles album, guys? You're going to get to mine later. Okay. But this one is a really sad, really downcast type album. What You're Doing, that's a song about your girls cheating and stuff. It does have a few covers, and the covers really bring it down. But as far as it's not one of the Beatles' best albums, but it's still the Beatles. They just don't do bad albums. I still give it an A. I mean, all right. Okay, moving on. Oops, wrong. Oh crap! Yikes! I thought I had them all in order, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see here. All right, Yellow Submarine. Now, that is an album. That's a weird album. It's kind of like a hodgepodge. Obviously, the song We All Live in a Yellow Submarine. Obviously, that's an awesome song. Great song to get stoned to. But this is basically half Beatles album and half orchestral stuff. It was a soundtrack to a really trippy Beatles animated movie. So only the first few songs are actual Beatles songs. So I'm not going to rate this one for that reason. But I dig the orchestral stuff. I mean, I love classical music, and George Martin, he was a great producer, and he composed the rest of the songs. But obviously, you're here for the Beatles songs. Yellow Submarine, classic. Only a northern song, really trippy. All together now, that one's a little dopey, but I still like it. Hey Bulldog, that's a pretty sweet rocker. It's All Too Much. Now, that is one of my favorite Beatles songs. And it's a George song. It's basically him with his Indian philosophy. But man, that song is so freaking trippy. Got lots of feedback. Really long, really weird. I love psychedelic. That's one of my favorite musical genres. And of course, All You Need Is Love. Not one of my favorites, but it's still a classic song anyway. So the Beatles portion is A plus, but the rest it actually there's probably more orchestral stuff. Okay, I like the stuff by their girl. Oh come on, Yoko's Yoko's terrible. She ruined the Beatles. Come on, stupid man. Well, thanks for chirping in anyway. Like anyone who wants to talk, let me know. Let it be, guys. Okay, you know what? I'll just let that one go. Let It Be, as far as I'm concerned, it's honestly my least favorite Beatles album. This is the only album I would give under an A to. It's still a really good album, don't get me wrong. The Beatles never make bad albums. But this is my least favorite for sure. It does have some truly immortal songs, though. Like, obviously, the title track. I don't love it as much as everyone else does, but it's a classic. Across the Universe is a beautiful song. But my favorite song is I've Got a Feeling. That's one where that was one of the last songs that John and Paul uh, collaborated on. The beginning of it is Paul singing like in a bluesy, gruff voice. And towards the end, John Lennon comes in and saves the day with an awesome, like sarcastic vocal. I just love that song. One of my favorites. Uh, it's a long and winding road. That's a beautiful song. It's a really good album. Don't get me wrong, but it's my least favorite Beatles album, and it gets a B plus from me. Okay. Oh shit. It's hard to. All right. I'm just gonna pick the son of a bitch up. All right, anyone? What's your favorite Beatles album, guys? What's your favorite Beatles song? I don't really know many Beatles songs. After this, go and listen to them, man. You gotta get into the Beatles. They're just the best. I know Yellow Submarine. Yeah, that's a classic. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. For a lot of years, this was considered the greatest album ever made. And it no longer holds that title. It was just really revolutionary. Like, no one had anything that sounded like it at the time. All the production, that went into it. But it is probably still the second best Beatles album of all time. And it is a classic album. I mean, my favorite songs are Getting Better is a beautiful song. A gorgeous song. Oh my God, I was going to bed, but thanks, Zeus. I appreciate it, bud. No one else is watching, so I appreciate you coming in, bud. All right. Good morning, good morning. That song's gruesomely underrated. I love that one. Um, Within You, Without You. That was one of. Well, I'm glad you're here, stupid man. I appreciate everyone here. And subscribe, stupid man. If you subscribe, you're not stupid. Within You, Without You. That is a classic. That is a George Harrison. He's basically just doing nothing but, like, it's nothing but Indian music, man. He's playing the sitar, man. That song, like, it almost, like, puts you in a trance. It's so trippy. But it's basically like Indian music. I did a Star Wars Lego set. That's cool. Okay. For the She's Leaving Home is a beautiful song. Fixing a Hole is a great song. This is definitely the album where Paul took over. But this is a classic. A plus for sure. And without further ado, not that anyone cares except for you two guys. Revolver, the greatest album ever made by anybody, period. Yeah, I missed you too, bud. This is the first live stream I've done since this year, I think, actually. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It is pretty spooky, isn't it? This is the greatest album of all time. Every other album, even Pet Sounds, which is my second favorite album by the Beach Boys. The cool thing about Revolver is every song is a classic. The worst song on this album is Good Day Sunshine, and I still would give it a 10 out of 10. This is a classic, guys. This is the album where they really started taking acid, and obviously you shouldn't take acid. It's really bad for your mental health, but it makes you super creative. Can I be a mob? A mob, please? What's a mob? You'll have to tell me, Zeus, what's a mob? Anyway, this song is awesome. This album, Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, I'm Only Sleeping. This is John Lennon. He wants to join the mob. Yeah, and then go and force people to subscribe because lately no one's doing it. January was my worst month as a channel. And this month's not starting out particularly good either, so yeah. This is John Lennon's best album, and John Lennon's my favorite Beatles, so naturally, this would be my favorite. Tomorrow Never Knows, that song is still ahead of its time. It is so freaking trippy. I get high just listening to it. Um, In Your Birkin Scene, that's a beautiful song. And She Said, that's a beautiful song. I mean, just every song is just ahead of its time, just really classic. I just love that album. And to me, there's not a single bad song in the bunch. All right, so like if people are rude, I can ban it. Yeah, sounds good. The Beatles Past Masters. This is not an album per se. It's it's hard to talk. It's basically like they had some hit singles that weren't on the albums. Like, for instance, I Want to Hold Your Hand and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, obviously, Revolver, since it's the greatest album of all time, is an A+. Duh. You didn't need me to say that. Anyway, but this is basically like outtakes, album songs that weren't on the regular albums and hit singles. And these albums are freaking awesome. I love them. The first one is the first era. That's basically songs like I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not near as good as the second part because the Beatles weren't as good as the Beatles got better as they went along, but I still give the first part of it an A+. The second part, now that song is for those are awesome. Hey Jude is probably the most popular song, and that's understandable. It's a beautiful song, and that kind of sing along part at the end is really emotional. But my favorite song is Rain because I like psychedelic, I like trippy stuff. So I give both albums, Past Masters and Past Masters 2, I give them both A pluses. Okay. All right. Hold on just a second. Something is. Did I do all the albums? I might have done all the Beatles albums, guys. One, two,